Even at this very moment, the entire world awaits the countdown that will send the first living person hurtling into the unexplored mysteries of the universe.
3, 2, 1, drop.
Y-13. Commence your turn immediately.
No, sir, I'm going straight up. First man into space.
Can science prepare him for what no man has ever experienced before? Will the hypnotic effects of weightlessness or dread anoxia lure him beyond all human control?
I wanted to be the first man into space.
Is this the end? Lifeless man and his machine orbiting the Earth forever? Or what if he is the first man to return from space? Every man who challenges the unknown risks far more than science knows or conjectures. What will unpredictable cosmic forces do to the human body? What thing of unknown terror may return to walk the Earth?
Magnificent. You've never seen anything till you've seen the sun through the rings of Saturn.
Astronaut Stephen West was returning from outer space. But something terrible had happened.
Remember now, his mind is so completely decomposed.
We've got to find him.
He's going to need human cells to live on.
Stephen West had turned into the incredible melting man.
And the more he kills, the longer he's going to live.
He seems to be getting stronger as he melts.
The incredible melting man is the first new horror creature. Come prepared.
Escape it.
Mackie, look!
Nothing can destroy it. It's coming for you from space to wipe all living things from the face of the Earth. Beware of the creeping unknown. This woman is about to learn a terrible secret. She will never be the same again. Because this man knows that same secret, he will never speak again. To both of them has come terror in the form of the creeping unknown. Three men went into outer space. Only one of them came back. Came back a strange, distorted creature, haunted and possessed by something beyond human understanding. What was the terrible secret he could not tell them?
There's a whole new world out there, a wilderness, uncharted. And he's been there and come back. He's got the map. Unlock his mind for me, Briscoe, and find it. I know you can do it.
It isn't just a
I
question
know the
of...
strain and tension you've been under, but to stop now when we're so close.
Brian Donlevy. He dared an experiment that shocked a nation.
You've destroyed him like you've destroyed everything else you've touched, Kent.
There's no room for personal feelings in science, Judith.
An experiment that created the creeping unknown.
I want to cordon around the entire area, evacuate all public, get information to check up every movement that's likely to take place inside this radius tonight.
Yes, sir. Warn everyone not to touch anything unusual they may find in the streets.
The countdown to terror has begun.
The signal's getting stronger now. It won't be long.
Come quick! The monster done ate my pappy!
Do you really think this was a bear duck?
Highly unlikely. First man on Mars. Once he was human.
There's
something shiny in the rock. This is really starting to sting.
Now a bloodthirsty monster, killing and devouring the young, and not so innocent.
Let's take a look at this, huh?
I'm gonna blast the thing back to hell.
Oh, shit.
First man on Mars.
You mean there's aliens out here? Shit, I don't want to get ducted and anal.
This film is not rated.
Howdy, folks, and welcome to the Horror Mike Sunday Nooner, yes, for April 23rd, 2023. The countdown to terror has begun. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, folks. Now, I did further experimenting. Once again, I have the better video camera, and hopefully you're getting a better picture this time. But let me know if you can, as far as the sound goes, how the sound's coming in, because I did a little tweaking on the sound. Are you hearing me, loud and clear? In other words, is it coming in at least fairly well? Once again, my microphone is not attached, because if I attach the microphone with the HD camera, I get the blue screen of death, which is something we don't want. Oh, no, we don't want that, folks. But in any case, if you started watching this from the beginning, I showed 4 trailers. The first trailer was The First Man in Space from 1959, starring Marshall Thompson. And the second trailer was The Incredible Melting Man. Of course, you can't really... That's an unmistakable trailer right there. And I actually have the film on Super 8, a condensed version of the film, which I'll be showing you shortly. It's pretty hilarious. But also, you saw The Creeping Unknown. Now, in reality, it was the QUATERMASS Xperiment from 1955, starring Brian Donlevy, and of course, written by Nigel Neal, one of the great TV science fiction writers of all time. He could be number 1, I don't know, but he's way the hell up there. Of course, he's responsible for all of the great QUATERMASS films. If you haven't seen them, I highly recommend them. You've got the QUATERMASS Xperiment, QUATERMASS 2, QUATERMASS in the Pit, and there was a remake of that, which was, I think QUATERMASS in the Pit was originally 1958, BBC production in 6 parts, and it's like 3.5 hours. It is fantastic. If you get a chance, see the original. They did a remake in the late 60s, 70s, called 5 Million Years to Earth, which is also good. I don't think it's as good as the first one, but it's good. And certainly worth seeing. So that was The Creeping Unknown, aka the QUATERMASS Xperiment. The fourth trailer, of course, was my production of First Man on Mars. And yeah, I've got some awesome news. As I was saying Friday night, I was waiting for a certain package to arrive yesterday, and it did. Folks, may I direct your attention to that box sitting on the stool there. Yes, that box is loaded with First Man on Mars goodness. Oh, yes. And boy, did it turn out great. I have no complaints whatsoever from the Blu-ray factory. They do an awesome job. They are based here in Florida. They kick butt. And so that turned out really well. There is one little piece of the puzzle that I should be getting back by, I would say by Thursday. I'm thinking by Thursday I should have these. Here it is, folks. First Man on Mars Blu-ray right here. I'm going to bring it in. Oh, yes. There it is. There's the cover. The countdown to terror has begun. And there, of course, is the back. They did a beautiful job. Now, the interior, I'm going to show you now. Okay, as you can see, the disc has got one of my favorite scenes and what I call the Martian head crushing scene right there. Now, what you'll notice is that I do have the insert, and let me explain this really quickly to you. The insert, as you see on the bottom, this is just a test print I had made up, and it turned out beautifully. I love it. You can see my signature, and this one is numbered 1 out of 300. There are 300 in this limited signed and numbered edition. Okay, and so what it is, folks, what makes it bulletproof is the fact that the disc as well is numbered 1 out of 300 with the same ink. This is a certain type of ink. It is a certain shade of blue that only one manufacturer makes. So nobody can do ripoffs of this. There will be 300 of these made, and accept no substitutes, because you can tell right off the bat if it does not match this ink, and I will bet $1,000 I can get anybody trying to do a ripoff of this. They will not be able to. This is an absolute ironclad deal. These signed and numbered editions are absolutely rip-off proof, if you will. Now, of course, somebody could just go ahead and copy the disc and just sell, you know, I don't know, whatever, you know, $5 street corner rip-offs of First Man on Mars. But they can't do the signed and numbered. No, they can't. I made damn sure of that. So that's it, folks, right there. We've got, and it works beautifully. I am going to show you just how well this baby works soon. But without further ado, let's get to the chat, because I know a few people have chimed in already on this fine Sunday. First, we have Easy Comic Reader. Hello, my good man. Happy Sunday afternoon to everyone. Hello, Easy Comic Reader. Michael Taylor is here on the scene. Hello, Michael Taylor. How are you doing? Gotham City Comics is here. Hello, Gotham City. Great to see you. Chad M is here. Hello, Chad. How are you, my good man? Good God. Excellent. Jacob is here. Hello, Jacob. Very good to see you, sir. It is nooner time, and this is the Sunday Nooner Live. Good Lord. Oh, and I did get a response here. Chad M. Yes, sounds good. Thank you, Chad. I appreciate it. I've got a fan running. Of course, I have my headphones plugged in, so you shouldn't be really hearing much of any kind of background noise, I would hope. Jacob, loud and clear on my end. Horror Mike. Thank you, Jake. Michael Taylor chimes in as well. Hearing you pretty good. Okay, good. Easy Comic Reader sounds good. Yes. Excellent. Michael Taylor says, very cool. Great art on the insert. Thank you. Thank you, sir. I greatly appreciate it. It turned out, man, when I had the test of this, I'm trying to bring it in real tight for you guys. They absolutely captured all of the detail on this insert. And that's how they're actually going to be slightly larger, folks, just slightly larger. But I went with nothing less than premium cardstock. These things are going to look fantastic. And I'm very, very pleased with just the test copies that were run so far. As I said, Thursday, I should have the real ones, which will then be going into the First Man on Mars Blu-ray. Oh, yes. It is absolutely fantastic. But But we're going to take a look at the menu on my telly soon. I just thought I would bring that out first because I am excited. Got once again, I will point out the box. That is, I've just unboxed that sucker just to make sure that, of course, everything is in there. I dove into all of the stuff, the discs, the Blu-rays, the insert sheets and everything. It's all looking just fantastic. It's fabulous. And here's the thing. All right, guys. So, as I said, the insert cards, those fabulous black and white cards, should be in my little greasy little hands. No, they're not greasy, folks. But in any case, I should have them on Thursday. Friday, officially. Friday, the whatever the hell that is. Let's take a look. Friday, the 28th. That is this coming Friday. First Man on Mars Blu-ray will officially be for sale. I will, for the Friday night show, I implore you all to attend because I will have live links to the Blu-ray and also a couple of other hidden surprises for patrons, for purchasers of this fabulous First Man on Mars Blu-ray. There's a couple of things I'm working on. I think you're going to love it, okay? As people might recall from the Witch Tales Blu-ray previously from a few years ago, I did some special things for the Witch Tales purchasers, and people seem to love it. So I'm doing something in the similar vein, and I will have the total scoop on that this coming Friday. So you won't want to miss it, folks. Friday the 28th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Horror Mike Friday Night Frights show. I think it's going to be a good one. But let's take a look once again. I got a few more in chat. Says, I don't hear no fan. Good. This is very good. Chad says, amazing artwork. Thank you, Chad. I appreciate it. You know what? I got to say, I mean, thank you, guy. I mean, look, man, you know, as far as this piece goes, people can tell you all kinds of shit about when they do arts and stuff. This freaking thing took me 7 days to pencil and then to ink. The detail on this thing is insane. It is just, you got to see it up close and personal. But it just turned out wonderfully, you know, and I'm so glad that I stuck with the black and white of this because it just looks really freaking cool. Really cool. Very pleased with it. Cannot wait to get the actual run of them. As I say, estimated by Thursday. It doesn't matter. Even if I get them Friday or Saturday or even Monday, regardless, the Blu-rays will actually start shipping out the following Tuesday. That's a done deal. So if anyone buys the Blu-rays on Friday or over the weekend, rest assured they're going out that Tuesday. That's the Horror Mike promise right there, you guys. Good God. Easy Comic Reader says, I want one. Thank you, Easy Comic Reader. They're so close to being on sale. I'm getting everything together. This week is going to be one of the prep week where basically where I get the pages together. For example, my friends and fiends, it will be available on Amazon.com, the Blu-ray. It will be available on my website, HorrorAnthologyMovies.com. And of course, it will be available on eBay. And the reason why eBay gets a lot of viewers. That's all there is to it. There's much like Amazon, there's, a certain amount of people find it. They will find it. eBay is a great source if anybody else sells stuff, comic books or whatever. And you probably already know this. eBay is fantastic because you will get tons of new eyes on your art or comic book or movie on eBay. It kind of works very similarly to Amazon. You know, I will say this though, Amazon charges their percentage. Of course, they take a larger percentage. It's going to be more expensive on Amazon. That's just the way it is. But on eBay, they're more reasonable. On my website, horroranthologymovies.com, it's going to be the most reasonable. Why? Because it's going to be, it'll be a page where I have you just go through PayPal, right? We all know PayPal, for example, when you're doing stuff on eBay, they take 14%. You can almost double that for Amazon. PayPal is somewhere around 3%, somewhere in there. It's really low. So basically the costs are going to reflect that. That's what I'm saying right now. So all three platforms will be live on Friday. I guarantee that. Rip Pappy. Yep. Oh yeah. They ripped his guts out. Well, the first man on Mars ripped his guts out. Eli Cologne. Good Lord. Michael Taylor, very impressive that only took 7 days to create that great art. I was kind of jamming on it. You know, once I started, I was doing like, I would say a good 4 hours a day. So, and there were some screw ups and I have to go back and do something or whatever. I mean, it was a pretty intense piece. Like, as far as like art that I typically do, like for instance, the Lovecraft stuff that I showed you guys. Of course, a lot of that stuff is a day, maybe 2 days max. But this was a huge thing, man. The original art is like I don't know, 10 by 17. So, you know, it did take quite a while indeed. Friends, we are looking at films wherein astronauts go into space and they come back as ravenous, bloodthirsty monsters. That is the theme. The subgenre we are exploring today on Horror Mike Sunday Nooner. And let's go chronologically, shall we? If we're going to, you know, take a look at these films, I think that's a fair way to go. So what we're going to do first is we are going to look at the QUATERMASS Xperiment. Should be in there. Oh, there you are. All right. Now I'm just using IMDb's page. It's fine. Stop. There you go. Now, this is 1955, aka The Creeping Unknown. The trailer I have, it's called The Creeping Unknown. I don't know why. I guess because they just didn't feel like QUATERMASS was well known enough here in the States, you know. This is all, it's Nigel Neal, it's British science fiction at its finest. And this is the first in the series that was made either through the BBC or, of course, in subsequent films. But the QUATERMASS Xperiment is fantastic. I highly recommend it. You can find it. It's not on Tubi. None of the QUATERMASS films, strangely enough, are on Tubi. One of them was a while back, but as I say with Tubi, they will take films out, and then 6 months later, they'll reintroduce the film, you know, so it's probably just a matter of time, but right now there's no QUATERMASS on Tubi, sadly. But you can try YouTube, which if you try YouTube, you will have luck. I highly recommend the QUATERMASS Xperiment. It's freaking great. And also the other QUATERMASS films. If you can't find them on YouTube, and I believe me, folks, I've looked for some of them. Like, for instance, the original QUATERMASS in the Pit, produced by the BBC, the 6-part series. from 1958. Try archive.org. Yes, I strongly suggest archive.org. Man, what a great series. Incredible. Great science fiction. Nigel Neal, well, what can be said? He's just one of the greats. But in any case, folks, I digress. The QUATERMASS Experiment, as they say here, Professor Bernard Quatermass. Yeah, that's it. Professor Bernard Quatermass's manned rocket ship returns to Earth, but 2 of the astronauts are missing, and the survivor seems ill and unable to communicate. There you go. Now, this one was directed by Val Guest. There are several writers credited, including Guest. Of course, Nigel Neal is on there. It's absolutely fantastic. Of course, Brian Donlevy. This is an interesting thing. I never read any of the QUATERMASS books that Neal wrote. But one interesting thing to point out is that it's a British film, right? These were all British flicks. Brian Donlevy is an American actor, and he plays Bernard Quatermass. And he's great, by the way. He's kind of like a complete bastard. I don't know. I mean, he is totally logical, and he pretty much just pimp slaps anybody that gives him any lip. And it's pretty hilarious watching this film. He doesn't have time for any BS. And so his acting is just like, yeah, he's like the alpha male scientist. Let's put it that way. He's great, Brian Donlevy. But it must have been weird because when you watch the film, obviously all of the other actors are British because it's a British production. And then they got this American guy playing the lead, of course, of Bernard Quatermass, the scientist. They get Brian Donlevy. He's great. I'm not complaining. It just seems a little odd that they didn't get a British guy. I assume in the books, the guy's American, the way that Nigel Neal wrote his character, I guess, Chad says, I'm asking my friend DK to help promote your movie. Oh, fantastic, Chad. Anything that is needed. Once again, there's a couple of things. As I was saying before, I'm putting together the pages so people can go to the page. Obviously, they could go to eBay or they could go to Amazon. But for instance, my page on horroranthologymovies.com, which will have all of the links. I'm getting all of that together this week, plus a revised press kit. Now, that would have stills and so forth and a link to the trailer and all that stuff. So whatever is needed, just let me know, maybe on Friday if you're here for the Friday show. But I greatly appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. The more, the merrier, as far as people spreading the word on the film, I really appreciate it. But here we go, folks. The subject right now is the QUATERMASS Experiment. And let me show you the trailer. It's quite good.
You can't escape it.
Maggie, look!
Nothing can destroy it. It's coming for you from space to wipe all living things from the face of the earth. Beware of the creeping unknown. This woman is about to learn a terrible secret. She will never be the same again. Because this man knows that same secret, he will never speak again. To both of them has come terror in the form of the creeping unknown. 3 men went into outer space. Only one of them came back. Came back a strange, distorted creature, haunted and possessed by something beyond human understanding. What was the terrible secret he could not tell them?
There's a whole new world out there, a wilderness, uncharted. And he's been there and come back. He's got the map. Unlock his mind for me, Briscoe, and find it. I know you can do it.
It isn't just a question
I know the
of...
strain and tension you've been under, but to stop now when we're so close.
Brian Donlevy. He dared an experiment that shocked a nation.
You've destroyed him like you've destroyed everything else you've touched, Kent.
There's no room for personal feelings in science, Judith.
An experiment that created the creeping unknown.
I want to cordon around the entire area, evacuate all public, get information to check up every movement that's likely to take place inside this radius tonight.
Yes, sir. Warn everyone not to touch anything unusual they may find in the streets.
There's no room for emotion in science, Edith. Brian Donlevy, he's just so great. It's an excellent film. If you like a really great science fiction film, check out the QUATERMASS Xperiment, or AKA The Creeping Unknown. I think you could probably find it under either title, but I really prefer the QUATERMASS Xperiment because it's the QUATERMASS series, you know, and it's great, man. All of the films are just excellent science fiction. There's even if you're interested on YouTube, there is an interesting short video. It's only like 5 minutes long, but they interview John Carpenter. It's an interview with John Carpenter. And he just starts raving about the QUATERMASS films and the QUATERMASS Xperiment, as well as QUATERMASS in the Pit. It's on YouTube. You can check it out. There is something in QUATERMASS in the Pit, folks. And it's not really giving away anything. It's a location that is actually a very vital location in the plot, and it's called Hobbs Lane. Does that ring a bell? Hobbs Lane. Well, Hobbs End, of course, was the location in John Carpenter's film At the Mouth of Madness. You guys may recall that, and so he would, no doubt, he used Hobbs Lane. He just kind of changed it a little bit, but that was influenced from the QUATERMASS Xperiment and obviously the QUATERMASS in the Pit. So there you go. That is the QUATERMASS Xperiment 1955, the first in the series, and highly recommended. The guy that plays the astronaut that survived, who comes back to Earth, and he's all screwed up. He has been infected by something. They don't know what it is. And he just keeps getting worse. He keeps mutating, and his acting is fantastic. He is so good in this film. It's pretty creepy, but it's also very compelling. It's great science fiction. Highly recommended. The QUATERMASS Xperiment. The next one we're going to check out, folks, moving in chronological order here, is, of course, The First Man in Space. Oh, God, yes. Well, as they say, First Man into Space. Sorry about that. There we go. 1959. The picture that leaps ahead of the headlines. First Man into Space. Absolutely fantastic. We have the trailer on this as well. The first pilot to leave Earth's atmosphere lands, then vanishes. But something with a craving for blood prowls the countryside. Starring Marshall Thompson, of course. He's great. Marshall Thompson, also in one of my favorites, the same year. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, 1959, Fiend Without a Face. Another great science fiction film. But I really love this flick a lot. First Man into Space is just a hell of a movie. I don't know how it got 5.4. That's just ridiculous. It should be a 7.0. Yeah, of course, the special effects are not great. I mean, they're, late 50s special effects and so forth. But they're certainly good, especially for the time. And it's just a really cool premise, and once again, it's that premise of an astronaut going into space and returning a bloodthirsty monster. Oh, yes. So that is First Man into Space. And let me first get to the comments. I see a couple of comments have come in. Chad says, do you have Discord or Facebook? Yes, on Facebook, it's Facebook.com/Real Progress. That's Real Progress with an REEL. I'll put the link in the chat soon. DK YouTube channel is interview with horror actors and directors like Terrifier movies, helping to promote indie project. Oh, that's great. That's excellent, Chad. Thank you. Chad also says, great trailer. Yeah, it is an excellent trailer, man. Those QUATERMASS films are superb. Once again, you can find this one, the QUATERMASS Experiment, and QUATERMASS 2 on YouTube. Just take a look around. You'll find them. You cannot find QUATERMASS in the Pit. Okay, it's really frustrating. It was on YouTube. Somebody pulled it off. I don't know why, but it is on archive.org, friends. Highly recommended. It is 3.5 freaking hours long, and it's every minute of it, as far as I'm concerned, is excellent. Top-notch science fiction. Top-notch. So, folks, we're on the First Man into Space kick here, and I feel compelled now to show you the trailer to First Man into Space.
Even at this very moment, the entire world awaits the countdown that will send the first living person hurtling into the unexplored mysteries of the universe.
3, 2, 1, drop.
Y-13. Commence your turn immediately.
No, sir, I'm going straight up. First Man into Space.
Can science prepare him for what no man has ever experienced before? Will the hypnotic effects of weightlessness or dread anoxia lure him beyond all human control?
I wanted to be the first man into space.
Is this the end? Lifeless man and his machine orbiting the Earth forever? Or what if he is the first man to return from space? Every man who challenges the unknown risks far more than science knows or conjectures. What will unpredictable cosmic forces do to the human body? What thing of unknown terror may return to walk the Earth?
That's another trailer I love. I think they just do a great job with it. And First Man into Space is also on Tubi. That is the one film out of this bunch, thank God, that's on Tubi. Although I haven't checked Incredible Melting Man, I really doubt it is on Tubi, unfortunately. But First Man into Space is. Of course, you can also find it on YouTube. And I highly recommend it. It's another good one. I really like the film. It's low budget. Yes, it is low budget. But I think it's really well done. It's compelling. And I'll tell you, this was one of those films that I was inspired by when I wrote the original story for First Man on Mars. Absolutely. More so, this one and The Incredible Melting Man were the two films, amongst others. Now, you got to realize that now, when I was growing up as a teenager, late 70s, early 80s, drive-in films, drive-in cinemas were everywhere, folks. That's probably, I would say, 50% of the time that I'd go see a movie, it would be at a drive-in. So, First Man on Mars, well, no, not First Man. Well, First Man on Mars would have been a perfect choice for a drive-in feature, but The Incredible Melting Man, absolute drive-in feature, a film I'm going to cover in the near future, Laser Blast. I remember seeing that. I can still, there's just chunks in my mind of going to the drive-in and watching Laser Blast at the drive-in cinema. Oh, yes. So, you know, there were a lot of these films. And as far as direct inspiration, I would say First Man into Space and The Incredible Melting Man more than anything else. But let us go now to The Incredible Melting Man, folks. So great. Okay, here we go. I'm going to increase this image here. There we go. That's better. Oops. Don't want to do that. Okay. The first new horror creature, the Incredible Melting Man. Come prepared. Now, I don't know. You know, like, once again, they give this a 4.2 rating. What the hell? I give it an 8.0. Okay? I don't know what the hell's wrong with these people. Rick Baker did the special makeup effects, and I think this was his first feature film job, you know? And it's great. Man, the special makeup effects on this are just freaking awesome. William Sachs wrote and directed the film. An astronaut is transformed into a murderous gelatinous mass after returning from an ill-fated space voyage. First Man, I mean, God, what I keep screwing that up. The Incredible Melting Man. Yes. Okay, we'll get to the trailer soon enough, but there are a couple of things. Let me see if this is going to show up for you guys. I want to show the... Yeah, that's pretty good. That's all right. Check out some of these, the original, of course, key art, the posters. There we go. Now that's a VHS cover. Lovely VHS cover from Midnight Movies. That is just beautiful. And there's another one. This one's pretty rare. Matter of fact, this appears to be a British VHS cover. You know, it's got the 18 symbol on it right here. The Incredible Melting Man in all his blood-chilling, face-melting, something, gory glory. God, it's hard to read. Well, maybe having my glasses might help. I don't know. Pus spewing. Oh, Jesus. That is sick. These guys are sick bastards. He feeds on human flesh. I love that one. That's pretty cool. Another one from Vipco's Vaults of Horror. And it appears to also be a British release. Uncut version. Watch out for him the next time you go into space. Okay. Right. So they just took a classic shot. this does not happen in the movie. So they just took a classic shot, of course, of a astronaut and his little whatever the hell those things are, you call them, and fly around. And they just put the melting man's head on it. Good Lord. Okay, this is extremely uninspiring. What? That's really weird. Vipco. Yeah, that's the company right there. That's Vipco as well. Okay, it's the Incredible Melting Man. There he is. Pre-melting man right there. There he is, pondering the stars right there. Okay. Nope. Starting to get a little melty. It's great. Dig that fro. Yes. Good hands. Love them hands. Rick Baker monster hands. Ah! Yeah, he's starting to get melty. Yeah, I love it. God, there's a ton of freaking stills on this. I want to show a good one of, oh, there's his foot. Looks pretty good. Oh. Rips the guy's head off and he's floating down a creek there. Jesus. This is almost like a play. There we go. Wanted to get it to at least a good, really good shot of the Incredible Melting Man. Now that is nice. Rick Baker coming in. From what I understand, folks, as I said, it was his first feature film assignment. And I believe his budget was $10,000. Now, you know, you might immediately think, God, that's nothing. Well, it's not much, but you got to realize that this was 1977. Okay. So 10 grand went a lot further in 1977. So, you know, even though it was still low budget at the time, I mean, Jesus Christ, my film First Man on Mars cost $14,000. That was the entire budget of my film, folks, $14,000. And that was in 2016. So I don't know what Baker was complaining about. Good Lord, 10 grand on the special effects budget. But that's really a nice shot. I mean, he just, it's one of those great kind of, you know, makeups that sticks with you, really. Really quite nice indeed. So I am going to now go back to the comments because I see a few comments have come in. Let's see what we got here. Chad says, I'll definitely add these to my watch list. Yeah, man, if you, as I was saying before, with the QUATERMASS films, a couple of them are on YouTube. They're the QUATERMASS and the Pit, the original 6-part BBC series from 1958, is on archive.org. And they've got a really clean, about the cleanest you're going to get. I mean, face it, folks, this is a BBC production from 1955. So, You know, the quality isn't optimum, but it is very decent, and it's on archive.org. Highly recommended. Easy Comic Reader says, we are lucky to have a drive-in here, but they only show new flicks. Wish they would have a retro night. That would be fantastic. They need to. Wow, why don't they have a... Man, that would be the greatest, you know? Get Laser Blast in there, Incredible Melting Man, Dawn of the Dead, you know, geez Louise. Well, we could go on. You know, there's so many great drive-in films. I mean, I got to tell you, folks, the first time I saw The Exorcist was at a drive-in, okay? I mean, back in the day, and I was, Jesus, I think I was 11, maybe. It was when it came out, so that was 1973. So that would be about right. And my brother, my older brother, and I pleaded with our mom to take us. And she, of course, didn't want to, and probably ended up regretting it. I mean, it was one of those things. I mean, it certainly traumatized me when I watched it, even at the drive-in. But just to point out the fact that all films were being shown at that time. You would have high-end films, high-budget films like The Exorcist, all the way down to, you know, Herschel Gordon Lewis and, you know, anything. You'd have, of course, Incredible Melting Man and so forth. Michael Taylor says, there was a flea market that my mom and I would go to. It also doubled as a drive-in movie theater. Oh, that's excellent. That's a good way, you know, it's also a very good way to, you know, when the drive-in isn't going, hey, at least you've got a flea market and you can sell stuff. That makes a lot of sense. Hojo is on the scene. Hello, Hojo, how are you doing? Good to see you. Easy Comic Reader, loving that fro, baby. Yes, quite the fro on the doctor there. Michael Taylor, my, what big hands you have. Yes, indeed. Oh, it just says, just a friendly reminder that my horror comic, The Mythical End 60-Day Tour, Indiegogo, great. Hello, Hojo. Michael Taylor, wow, Mike, The Exorcist at a drive-in's very cool. Yeah, it was. Actually, it was. I mean, it was. I must say again, I was 11. It was rather traumatic, you know. But I saw it. It was at the drive-in, and of course, several years later in a theater. They would actually. The Exorcist was one of those films that was so good that it got theatrical redistribution, like every 5 to 10 years, it seemed. I mean, you guys, I think a few of you have said that you've seen, like, there was like I want to say 1990, or maybe it was 1990 and year circa 2000, where they actually re-released it in theaters. You know, of course, it's one of those movies that's going to happen because it's The Exorcist. So, in any case, guys, let me, without further ado, show you the amazing trailer to The Incredible Melting Man.
Magnificent. You've never seen anything till you've seen the sun through the rings of Saturn.
Astronaut Stephen West was returning from outer space. But something terrible had happened.
Well, remember now, his mind is so completely decomposed.
We've got to find him.
He's going to need human cells to live on.
Stephen West had turned into the Incredible Melting Man.
And the more he kills, the longer he's going to live.
incredible melting man is the first new horror creature. Come prepared.
Yeah, that's cute. Fuck. Weird. All right, guys. I had to get this. Check it out, folks. I'm going to kill this. Here it is. The original, my Super 8 copy of The Incredible Melting Man. Now, of course, obviously it's the condensed version. This is like a 10-minute condensed version, but I do dig the shit out of that cover. It's one of the best Super 8 covers I think they ever did, with that eye popping out there. Pretty nice. And it's still intact. Of course, it's gotten a little red, as they always do. No vinegar syndrome, though. I tell you, still kind of holding up. Because it's film, folks. That's the thing, right there. And the film shall last. Oh, yes. Yep. Super 8 color sound. The Incredible Melting Man. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay. All right, guys. Now, let's close that. And of course, well, kind of the one that you've all been waiting for, I guess. There we go. Ah. Oh, yes. Let me get the crap. Let me get the page up here. Folks, it's First Man on Mars. I mean, what the hell? There you go. Now that, just to give you a little, here's some trivia on this for you. This was the original poster I did for First Man on Mars. Okay, and as you can see there, it is missing her. What that's Dr. Carolyn Monroe, right there. Believe it or not. And she's just referred to as Dr. Monroe in the movie, but of course, in the Blu-ray, as well, I don't know. I don't know if you can actually see it, but I put her in there right below the monster, which is fitting because, of course, within the story, she had an affair with the astronaut. You know, she was having an affair. He goes into space, comes back a monster. She has to confront her lover turned into a ravenous beast. That's what's going on there. Okay. And she may have liked it. I don't know. But in any case, this is the original poster there. And there are, or at least were, unless no. They do have the photos. They're still here. Now, check out that. Now, I want to say that as part of the extras, and there's some great extras in the Blu-ray, folks, including, I think, about 10 of the retro lobby cards that I did for First Man on Mars, and this is one of them. Of course, this is the Martian head-crushing retro card. Let's see here. There's another one, of course, with the fabulous girls and their photo shoot for Bullets with Bimbos magazine. Bullets and Bimbos magazine. Sorry about that. But yeah, there's a classic retro. Here's another one. These are the scientists, of course, that go with Dr. Monroe into the swamps to find Eli Cologne, the man turned bloodthirsty monster. Oh, yeah. This was the poster that was done. This was done by the distributor, Tomcat Films, and I liked it. I thought it was really cool looking, but there was just one problem. One, he obscured the girls. You just barely see him back here. Two, there's no comedic element whatsoever in this poster. And of course, folks, it's a horror comedy. It's a satirical homage of 1970s drive-in creature features. That's what it is. And they just didn't get it. That was the sad thing about the distributor, and I'm really glad I have the film back and am able to promote it in such a way that people, especially people that love a good horror comedy, and I love a good horror comedy, folks, they will appreciate it more, and they'll know. They'll see it. They'll be like, oh, yeah, that's a horror comedy. Okay, I get it. So that was that. This is just all the various quotes from reviewers. We got a ton of great reviews on this film. It was pretty amazing, really. I was kind of stunned at the amount of good press, very good press on the film. Another retro lobby card there, of course, with the horrifying monster. Oh, yes. And, of course, the scientists getting scared shitless in one of the scenes. And there's, of course, the morgue scene. We've got our Dr. Fritz Leiber. People may get that or not, but he's on the scene. Taking a look at the corpse that these guys brought in. That's Deputy Jordy Sample here, the black chap. And, of course, Sheriff Dick Ruffman. And so they're discussing the corpse and what might have happened to said corpse in this sequence. And as I said, yeah, this was the original poster I did. And I'm really glad that I added Dr. Monroe. I added more blood. I did just various things that I think made it much better. And there you go. There's some of the extras in there. Oh, once again, fucking with me. Now, folks, I'm going to show you the short trailer for First Man on Mars.
The countdown to terror has begun.
The signal's getting stronger now. It won't be long.
Come quick! The monster done ate my pappy!
Do you really think this was a bear duck?
Highly unlikely.
First man on Mars. Once he was human.
There's something shiny in the rock. This is really starting to sting.
Now a bloodthirsty monster, killing and devouring the young, and not so innocent.
Let's take a look at this, huh?
I'm gonna blast the thing back to hell.
Oh, shit.
First man on Mars.
You mean there's aliens out here? Shit, I don't want to get ducted and anal.
This film is not rated.
There we go, folks. The trailer, short and sweet, as far as I'm concerned. Jacob says, great cover on that. Excellent piece of horror you got with that original film, Mike. The original film. Ah! Oh, great. Quite sure. Of course, I'm... hold on, guys. There we go. Yes, thank you, Jacob. I appreciate it, man. Michael Taylor says, very cool that you brought back lobby cards for your movie. Yeah, there was no doubt. If you guys remember, well, of course, back in the day, I mean, Jesus, up until, I don't know, maybe even into the 2000s, lobby cards were a thing. I don't know if you guys, I mean, they were definitely, it was like, look, you had your one sheet and your half sheet. But you had to have the lobby cards, at least 10, maybe a dozen. That was just a thing, it was a necessary thing. And I absolutely was going to go with the retro lobby cards. There's no doubt about it. Easy Comic Reader says, Mike, you mentioned a previous movie you made. Is it available? Yes. Easy Comic Reader, that is Witch Tales. I tell you what, though, and I got to tell you something, though. It is on eBay, Easy Comic Reader, Witch Tales, but there are 9 copies left, and that's it, of Witch Tales. And what I figure I'm going to do is I am going to combine, let me get rid of this for a second. I am going to do sell the rest of the 9 Witch Tales Blu-rays. I'm going to also do a combo offer on eBay of First Man on Mars and Witch Tales, the Witch Tales Blu-ray, and make it cheap, like definitely next to nothing for a second Blu-ray, just as a special offer, But there are 9 of the Witch Tales. I've got one copy. Yeah, here we go. I got it. This is Witch Tales. This is the film, the last feature film I actually made. This came out in 2020. And as I was saying to you guys, this was also signed and numbered. Now, oddly enough, this is a strange thing about Witch Tales. This is a horror anthology film. It is based upon pre-code horror comics of the 1950s. And I was living in Peru. We shot this entirely in Peru using a bilingual cast. So the most unusual thing about this film, well, actually about this Blu-ray, is that there are 2 versions of the film on this Blu-ray. One is in English language. The other is in Spanish language with English subtitles. This is the first horror anthology film ever made, simultaneously shot in 2 languages. Okay? It is the first. You can find it. It should be listed like in Wikipedia's first, whatever the hell. Cinematic firsts, I think is what they call it. But what I'm going to do, since I have 9 of these left, I think what I will make a combo deal, okay, and which should be quite good price wise. Once again, when you get this does not have an insert, but as you can see here, the editions are numbered and signed on the disc. That's how I did it with these. So there you go. And if you're into, that's the whole thing. I love pre-code horror comics. Of course, I made the documentary film Haunted Thrills, which is on YouTube. You can watch it whenever you'd like. It's on my channel. After I made Witch Tales. So it was kind of meant to be a complimentary piece to Witch Tales. And it is. That's basically it. So that is the previous Blu-ray. I mean, I've got 7 feature films. There are others. There's Horror Anthology Movie Volume 1 and Volume 2, which is actually currently not in release. And there's also Cut Up, which is on Amazon. And that's from 1994. And then there's Zombie versus Mardi Gras from 1999. That was the first official release. We actually finished it. It was done in 1996. But it wasn't released until 99. And that was through Sub Rosa. You guys familiar with Sub Rosa? I got to show you just for the hell of it. This is, I mean, folks, I'm so fucking old. That those two, Cut Up and Zombie versus Mardi Gras, were released originally on VHS. Yes, there it is, Zombie versus Mardi Gras. This VHS is so freaking rare. I don't know what to tell you. A collector, I had an additional copy, and a collector bought that copy from me for $220. So kind of gives you an idea. I mean, you just can't find them. Now it was released on DVD. The other guys I made the film with digitized it. They released it on DVD like 10 years ago. And that's floating around. You know, it's still not the easiest to find. And I wish they would make it easier. But alas, it's just one of those deals, man. They're kind of more in responsible for the distribution of it. I am not. So that's kind of the way it is with Zombie versus Mardi Gras. But you can readily, if you want, you could also rent Witch Tales and Horror Anthology Movie Volume 1 on Amazon. Both of those are available. Might as well toss them into the chat here. So that's kind of the deal with First Man on Mars, folks. I mean, let me see if I missed something from that. You got to watch that. These autoplay things on these videos are ridiculous. Yes. Okay. Yeah, but here's the description. The countdown to terror has begun. Astronaut Eli Cologne became the first man on Mars, but something went horribly wrong. Infected by an alien organism, he returned to Earth a savage monster with an unquenchable thirst for human flesh. There you go. That's your byline on that one. And yes, First Man on Mars, folks. It's a beauty. It's a beauty. All right. Let me just kill that. There we go. What the freaking? Oh, I missed a couple. Sorry, guys. Jesus Christ. That happens. That tends to happen. Michael Taylor, great stuff, Mike. The lobby card with the hot babes is brilliant. Yo, man. Yeah, that's boy, I'll tell you, the girls in the bikini photo shoot sequence. It turned out beautifully. It really did. Gratu is on the scene. Hello, Gratu. How you doing? Michael Taylor, well, lobby cards go way back many decades ago. Yeah, they were popular for, God, I don't know how long. You know, as a matter of fact, I kind of want to say that there were lobby cards at least in the 1930s, you know, and they were certainly popular. I mean, like, legitimately used into the 1990s, you know? I mean, people were it was just a thing that you did for films, Chad says a Blu-ray double pack. Yes, that will be it. There's only going to be 9 of them because there's only 9 of the Which Tales, my good friends and fiends. So that's going to be the combo right there. And it will be live as of Friday as a combo. So if you're interested in that, it'll be it's going to be a great deal. Let's put it that way, because I'm not going to add much as far as cost goes onto the price. So it's going to be quite a good combo deal. Easy Comic Reader says, it will finally be payday this week, so I'm getting ready. Ah, excellent. The timing couldn't be better. Easy Comic Reader. Fantastic. Michael Taylor says, there's a rare video of the Munsters making a public appearance at SeaWorld. They enter in the Munster coach. It's on Tubi. I think you mentioned that before, Michael Taylor. Is that part of a documentary of SeaWorld? Or is it a part of a documentary on the Munsters? I didn't know. Oh, yeah. Let me give you the Facebook link. Good Lord. Now, yeah, I got to tell you, guys, it's one of those things. I stopped using personal Facebook a long time ago. I technically have one because I have to keep my page running. But, yeah, Facebook have become little censorious biatches, if you don't mind my saying. They just, there was one incident with a couple of things I posted where they banned me. They suspended me for a week. And it was the stupidest thing. I was just like, screw this. So I stopped using my personal Facebook. However, I kept my pages because freaking hell, on my Real Progress page, I've got like 4,500 followers on the page. And I'll be damned if I'm going to let that go just because they freaking suspended me for some stupid crap. So I still put all my stuff on the Real Progress page. And that is the best way to find me on Facebook. Yeah, so. Michael Taylor says, I think it was a TV special, A Day with the Munsters. Okay. I'll have to look into that because I don't know if I've seen that on there. I'll look up I'm sure it's going to be on the Munsters. If I just do a search for the Munsters, Michael Taylor. But in any case, folks, that is the show. That is our look into that sweet subgenre of what happens when astronauts go into space and return bloodthirsty, ravenous monsters. And I think those are some of the films that sum it up. Now, I'm sure there are a few other films in this subgenre. Those are the 4 that I'm aware of. And I love them all, there's no doubt about it. And as I said before, as far as the QUATERMASS films, there's a few of them on YouTube. And the thing about the BBC stuff is that, yeah, it's just legitimately hard to get. Like, go to Amazon, look up, QUATERMASS in the Pit or the QUATERMASS trilogy, and you can get it. It's just Region 2 DVD. So you need an all regions, DVD or Blu-ray player. It's incredible. But fortunately, you can watch the 6-part QUATERMASS in the Pit on archive.org. Just look up QUATERMASS in the Pit 1958, and they have all 6 episodes. And I highly recommend it. Of course, fantastic. And First Man into Space, of course, is on Tubi. So that is a good thing there. And I do recommend that as well. you know. Chad says, thank you. Thank you, Chad. I really appreciate it. And yeah, so that ends our Sunday Nooner broadcast. I'm absolutely going to be back, my good friends and fiends, Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And at that time, everything should be live for the first man on Mars. Oh, yes. Oh, you are going to love it. The extras on this are fantastic, better than anything I've ever done as far as extra material. Let me just read off. I need my glasses, but just to give you a little bit of a taste as to what's happening here. Behind the scenes stills. Okay, Super 8 millimeter. I'm sorry, God, Super 16 millimeter frame grabs. Yes, folks, we shot this on Super 16 film. Okay, 80% of this movie is film, 20% is video, and that's because there are some scenes that are supposed to be video when he's walking around on Mars and shit. And there were a couple of other scenes that, how should I say this? They didn't turn out technically as good as I liked. And what we did during the filming all the time, I did this religiously. We're shooting on Super 16 and simultaneously, like this, shooting on using my Canon Mark III, shooting on 1080p, shooting like really good video. So there were just a couple of scenes where I took the video and I matched it as much as possible to the film, and I think it looks really good. It turned out really well, but the vast majority of this is Super 16 film, giving it that authentic 1970s drive-in feel. That's what I'm saying. So there are Super 16 millimeter frame grabs. The retro lobby cards, as of course we took a look at a few of those. Outtakes, video outtakes, and raw stop motion animation. Okay, I did stop motion animation on this film, folks. Yes. Oh, yeah. And you will see it. Not only is that represented in the behind the scenes stills, but there's actual video of the Emperor of Mars. Okay, and as this creature is moving through a cave and so forth, you'll see several shots of that. That is also part of the extras. And of course, the lineup of Real Progress movie trailers. So it's kind of loaded with really fantastic extras as well, so I think it turned out beautifully. The guys in Orlando who run the Blu-ray shop factory did a superb job. I'm so glad, because typically speaking, there's always one thing that's screwy. If it's not on the disc, it's the printing on the disc, or it's the printing on the insert wrap, or something where you're just like, what the hell happened? Everything is spot on. So I'm totally pleased with it. I love it. And I'm just waiting for the black and white. The black and white inset. These, God, man, oh man, I am just, extraordinarily pleased with the reproduction on all of these. So that is the deal. And hopefully, you guys, I will see you then next Friday night. Easy Comic Reader says, appreciate it, Mike. Thank you, Easy Comic Reader. I appreciate you all being here for this special Sunday Nooner. And you guys have a great week. And of course, I will have videos naturally that are coming out on Tuesday and Thursday. But Friday night will be the live show. So I hope to see you guys there. So have a great week. And we'll see you on Friday.